Yo guys, how you doing? It's me, tomironi123, bringing you guys another video. Now, I've been verified for the last 2 years, guys, and my custom tactics have been very helpful for everyone, but also I always release my controller settings, and I think everyone's been asking me for these because they're just waiting. They're saying, Tom, tell me, what are the settings? Guys, I am here to save you. Let's talk about the settings, and the settings I think all pros will be using this year, plus obviously some input I had from pros that I've already talked with and seen what they are using, guys. Let's go straight into customized controls first though, because this is going to be the important thing, guys. So this year what we have is a competitive master switch. Now this means when you play online, these are the default settings you have to be using when it comes to the things that are grayed out up to FIFA trainer, guys. Now let me just put it on off for now, guys, just so I can talk to you about what was basically happening. So they took out contextual agile dribbling. Last year this was a thing where when you use the left stick, the player would kind of just move back away from the defense when you're using it, and it obviously contextually allowed you to kind of dribble in an agile way. Basically it was absolute nonsense. It was abused to the max, and people that were obviously on a better internet, it just made it way better for them because everyone else had lag compensation, and it just made it impossible for them to catch up with it or do anything about it, guys. So obviously we have that off this year. EA does not want that to affect people too much. That's perfectly fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal, guys. Auto clearances, they've taken it off this year. That's probably one of the first times ever, guys. Auto clearances is literally what it says. Unless you press a clearance button such as B, the player will not clear the ball, meaning you will have to be forced to do it yourself. That's okay though, it's something you have to adjust to. Auto flare pass is off, thank God, guys. Honestly, I am so thankful for this, because every year players would do random back heels, would do some random skill passes. You do not want any of that nonsense. Take it off, and that's perfect, guys. Obviously, you will still happen if you hold left trigger or L2 on the PlayStation, but automatically it will never happen again. Auto shots, it means that you will have to shoot yourself. There is no auto shooting. Not like it used to be a thing where the rebound was so close or hit the post and if your player's right there, he would shoot for you. That's gone. It's down to your reaction time, guys. It's all down to you now, which I think is perfectly fine. I'm totally happy with that. Assisted headers are off, guys, which means, right, a lot of people will be a bit annoyed about this, but basically it means that all headers are now manual. Now I've always suggested doing this since last year, and guess what? I was right. When am I not right? Guys, honestly, they were always going to be heading this way. It has to become more and more manual for the game to have more skill. So, assisted headers, off. It means that now every single header you make, whether it's a pass or it's a shot, it's going to be manual. So make sure that you start practicing that, guys, because it's going to be a lot harder than before. So guys, jockeying is where you hold the LT or the L2 on the PlayStation to be able to move around the player and try and kind of contain them within a space and get the ball back. This is probably the most essential defensive feature ever in FIFA. Like, honestly, it is the most important thing to defending well. It's just jockeying. People do not know how to jockey. Last year it was unassisted. It made it easy for people. There was no kind of assistance. What it would do is kind of lock on to that player when you started jockeying, allowing you to get the ball back quickly. Not anymore, guys. It's all manual now online, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's all down to your skill. What this allows you to do though is it creates that kind of skill gap, guys, because those who are able to use it effectively and maintain that, you know, control over the speed that you're moving at will obviously be rewarded because they'll be quicker to get to things. So I think this is perfect, guys. Through pass assistance is only semi, guys, so it could either be manual, which I don't think anyone's ever done because that's just suicidal, guys. Assisted, which is what most people had every single year, which means basically they'll do anything to avoid the opponent player and get it straight through to the player that you want to, which is absolutely nonsense because we know passing doesn't work like that. But EA Sports is not ever going to tell us about the actual truth behind passing because they don't really care about us like that, but that's okay. Through pass direction and power will be partially assisted, guys. Partially. It depends more on where you point and how you hold the through pass button. I've started noticing this myself, guys. If you try and pass it to the left of a player by holding your left stick that way when you're passing, it will try and play the through ball that way. If you do it to the right, it plays it through that way. Obviously, that increases the skill gap a bit, so that's perfectly fine. Defending is tactical. I'm not even going to go into this. Legacy defending is like kind of what you used back in the old FIFAs. It's just a joke. Of course, it's not a thing anymore. And guys, that is what you get in competitive settings. Now, you have to stick to that online. You do not have a choice on Ultimate Team with anything else. You just have to accept that and learn it, basically. That's what EA is saying right here, guys. FIFA Trainer is basically what you get during gameplay when they sometimes show you, obviously, where you're pointing, where you're shooting. So this is a bit kind of something you should be using offline if you are feeling like you are struggling and you're learning the game. If you're new to the game, I think it's the best thing to do, guys. But hide it obviously online as well, because it can be very, very frustrating and very, very invasive in terms of seeing where you're supposed to pass and what you're supposed to do. Timed finishing, guys, get that on, man. Honestly, like, I'm not even gonna start on this, guys. Timed finishing needs to be on. There's just no two ways about it. I'm literally going to have a video out on this. Green time finishing is the one way to score outside the box, finesses, anything like that, guys. You need this on, and you will see my video, which I'm going to put in the description after I release it, for this video as well. So make sure to check that out if you're seeing it later, this video. It's just essential. I don't see how you can go without it this year. It's just so important, guys. It's basically where you click the shoot button, so to be on the Xbox or the circle on PlayStation, and then you press it again just before you shoot again, or when the player actually takes the shot, so that you can green time it. That allows you to have more power and more accuracy. Obviously, the longer the window is, the better the player is. So basically, I should have said that other way around, but the better the player is, the longer the green window is, guys. So basically, it's like an NBA kind of system, if anyone's ever played that. Next player switch indicator. Now, this is a little icon you get above certain players when you're playing. Now, I like to have that off, and a lot of players will have that off in terms of pro level, just because it kind of gets very invasive. You should naturally learn how to right stick switch, guys. Honestly, start switching with the right stick, start practicing that. I'll maybe make a video on it as well, so you guys can kind of get better accustomed on how to actually learn it. But guys, it's very, very important to have this off, so you can kind of adjust to it, and make sure you don't use the left bumper or L1 on the PlayStation too much, because it is not going to be useful in the long term and doesn't improve you as a player in in any circumstances whatsoever. Pass block assistance is on. It's just very important. Your AI controlled players will basically try and get the ball. If it's coming close to them, they'll try and intercept it. I think that's very important, so keep that on. Auto switching. Now, people are the weird ones. Automatic, no. Manual, never. Only on loose balls, definitely not. You need it on air balls. I think it's very important, and I think you do need it on loose balls as well, guys. So what you want to be doing is that the ball automatically, well, they automatically switch you on air ball, so anything in the air, they'll automatically switch you to that player, so you don't have to switch to them, which could be very difficult. If the ball's coming in the air, such as a goal kick or anything else, try switching with your right stick directly to that player, giving him enough time to obviously clear the ball. Too long, guys. Loose balls, same thing. So keep on air balls and loose balls, guys. So auto switch and move assistance, guys. When you switch, this basically means when you switch, or it auto switches you to a player, how long is that player going to be moving in the direction they're already moving before changing to the direction you are pointing? So if you have high, it means that this player will take very long. So if you're pointing and you're running towards your goal, and you're trying to intercept the ball because it's going a bit higher, it will take very long to turn up. So that's the milliseconds you are losing, guys. So I think it should be between none and low. I'm going to keep a low myself, because I still think it's very important. If you have a none, these players just literally zoom around the place, so you don't want that. They'll be spinning everywhere as soon as you move the left stick. Low gives you that anticipation time to be able to adjust to the run and obviously make a difference. Clearance assistance, guys, directional, pretty simple here, really. The importance of this is that if you have it on classic, it means that doesn't matter where you're inputting in terms of your left stick, your clearance is just going to be randomly cleared. You don't want that. It could go absolutely anywhere. You want it directional, so it's all fully down to you, and you decide on power and the placement of the clearance. Player lock, that's basically the feature where you press with the left stick, right stick to control the player, then you can switch players and control them on the side. I don't really use it, so I couldn't care less about it, but I do keep it because you never know. You might get a bit extravagant at times and be like, you know what, I want to experiment with something, and that's why I keep it on, guys. Icon switching, I've not really done this. I don't know the big deal here. I just don't like this, guys, so I'm just going to keep it off. I literally don't know. I don't really get what it is. Player rotation, no clue what the hell that means. Guys, keep a player relative. I'm not even going to start explaining to you guys, but basically right stick switching. If it's ball relative, you're basically switching with the right stick. When you're switching with the right stick to another player, it is from where the ball is facing. So if your player is above the ball, you have to flick up to get the player to switch to him, basically. If it's player relative, you will be able to switch from the player you're currently controlling. So let's say you're controlling the player above that player and the ball's coming there. What you do is you put the stick down instead of up to be able to get there, because you're trying to go from the player you're currently controlling to the other player, guys. Quite tough to explain, but genuinely keep a player relative and just trust me on that. Assisted ground pass, assisted shot, assisted cross, assisted lob pass, assisted save, guys. This is on two ways about it. Analog sprint, keep it off, but if you have it on, it basically means that as long as you hold right trigger down, determines obviously how fast you're running. I don't think that's necessary. Keep that off, guys. Don't mess around with that. Now this is when you're passing the ball, how early or late do you want it to lock on to where you are going to pass, guys? So I personally like it late, because what it does is sometimes you're going to make a pass and you're going to realize, hold on, no, he's actually going to block that off. I don't want him to block that off. So what you do is you quickly switch direction. You want to have that opportunity, guys, to keep on late. And guys, that is literally all in terms of these settings. You can see the kind of things I'm running here. I'm pretty sure I do not change anything. I am pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's literally it. But you can have a look obviously at that, guys. Now game settings, there's not much I change here, to be honest with you guys. Tele broadcast, very important for me. Now I've been experimenting and I think 5 and 12 is the best on tele broadcast, guys, if you want to be using it. I like tele broadcast personally, because I think what it gives me is this ability to be quick with my skill moves. It allows me to be closer to the action and obviously really feel what's going on, guys, on the pitch. A lot of people do co-op because they want to be seeing the pitch and being able to anticipate movement a lot better. That's also possible, guys. If you do co-op though, make sure the height is obviously a bit lower, guys, maybe 2, and zoom in a bit, 13, 14. That's what I'd be doing, guys. But I keep a tele broadcast. I think is the best one. It allows you to do skills, it allows you to shoot more effectively. It just gives you more time to react to things, really. Player name and indicator, player name default off, hold to skip on. Yeah, I mean, these are pretty simplistic. Now this one, yeah, guys, basically when you have issues with internet, yeah, I just keep it off, guys. I feel like it actually increases my issues with internet, so I'll keep that off. I don't want those little icons popping up, guys, and obviously everything else stays the same, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's helped you a bit, and make sure to ask me any questions down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new, guys, and until next time, guys, I love you all. Peace.